Well, Lazy Boy, you know, lately he's been beefing with guys like Lefty Gunplay, Bozo, Lil Weirdo,
Yeah.
Chito Ranas.
Yeah.
When you see that back and forth, because you don't really engage in that, do you?
Nah. Yeah. I mean, I understand it. These individuals never met, but I understand it. I will say this though, I've never really seen like Lazy Boy bands spark off or say nothing about these cats. You know, I know, of course, they're gonna he said this first type of shit, but I'm a little older, man. I present myself different. I have a different point of view. If I feel like I can't get with you one-on-one, and we could actually we're in arm's reach, there's no reason for me to even acknowledge you know what I'm saying? But that's just my protect, not taking away what they do. And bro, rap beef's been from the beginning of the time, bro. It sells records, it's good for numbers, I guess, and there is a genuine hate there, you know? Now we got a platform. If I want to say fuck you, I don't need to come up on your hood to tell you. I can just tell you right here, you know what I mean? So it's the sign of the times, you know? If I can't get to you, I could just disrespect you in front of the world.
Yeah, I mean, you and I are old enough to remember just how different it was before social media, right? Chief Keef and the Chicago guys, they took it to what I feel is a new low.
Yeah.
Where they started talking about smoking of your dead enemies.
Yeah.
And that started to spread to places like Jacksonville, like rest in peace Fulio, who I've interviewed before.
Yeah.
That killed me when I heard it, because he was a good dude.
Gotcha.
But it's the constant dissing of dead people.
Yeah.
Going to grave sites.
Yeah.
You know, like for example, one of the guys who's charged with killing Fulio, his brother was killed by one of Fulio's people, and Fulio rapped about it. And one of his people went to the guy's gravestone, like urinated on his gravestone, and made a video about it. You know what I mean? There's videos of dudes digging up, like, you know, like grave sites, and really just really nasty behavior that from our era we wouldn't even think to do shit like that. But this is now becoming the commonplace.
Yeah, I guess it's a good way to find a way to disrespect your ops if you really want to get under the skin. I'm just a firm believer of the energy you put out, man. Like if you really, and unfortunately, I didn't know bro like that, man, but that's the, and from what I was told, he was, or heard, he was killed on his birthday.
Yes.
On a similar day. Hold on, I might be wrong. Maybe you could help me with this. It was like a strange way that he passed. It was like on the same day of a number or something like that. Like he was dissing some dude's name, and
I mean, there was something about that. But basically, he was in Florida, which I told him he shouldn't be in.
Yeah.
You know, we talked before about this. And he was having a birthday party, and he was on Instagram like, hey, DM me for the location.
Yeah.
And one of the girls that was there messaged the guys that killed him.
Yeah.
And said, hey, we're right here. Here's the address.
Boom,
you know, the cops arrested everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone's cell phone was seized.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
that's like the worst mistake anybody do. Never drop your location and tell people where you're at, especially if you got war.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's putting out energy, and I don't know him or his situation like that. I'm just could speak from an outsider looking in. If you're gonna do stuff like that, you're knocking on the devil's door, man. You can't be surprised if he answers, right?
Yeah. Now listen, I've gone back and forth with a lot of people, but I've always felt like I'm not going to talk about your kids.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about your dead relatives or friends. I'm just going to talk about you if I have a problem with you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about your race.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I have a problem with you for a specific reason, and we're going back and forth, like people like me and NLE Chopper, have gone back and forth publicly.
Yeah.
But then we got on the phone and laughed it off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you guys are different though. You're not considered like a street dude or a gangster. You're not considered.
Not at all.
You do your job. You do your job well. Obviously, you're very successful at it, and you got a big platform. But I don't think that's going to be more of an online feud. You know, I don't think no one's going to worry about you going to get killed by Vlad down the street. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so I
not at
think
all.
that's two different ball games. Now, if it was that situation, these individuals know if I disrespect somebody that's a killer, it's just that who's tougher. You know, battle the tough guys here. You know, I know we all respect our enemies. We know what they're capable of, but people don't give a fuck. It's going to war. You know what I mean? Like a country find another country, you know they're killers too, but you know what you're signing up for. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you're in LA right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't announce this interview or, like I'm careful when it comes to these types of situations.
For sure.
But do you feel comfortable walking around LA?
Well,
Or
it
do you
depends
feel
on-
like, okay, I'm just going to go over here, do my job, and then I'm going to go back?
And I said this even on the No Jumper, man. I've been coming to LA for a long time. Just like I said, I land in Burbank. I've come out here, and LA's a big place. I'm not going down certain neighborhoods out here and be like, hey, I'm out here, this and that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of nice places in LA. I go out here and have nice dinners with the family. My brothers have businesses out here, man, and I don't come out here disrespectful. I don't come out here looking for trouble. But and fortunately, it never really got to that point where I ran into any issues. You know what I mean? And I just know how to move. And it, don't get me wrong, if I end up in the wrong place, I'm fully aware of what could happen. You know what I'm saying? Just even back home, it's just anywhere you got to move strategic. But I don't feel like I move in a way where I gotta watch out that much, because I try to avoid that if possible. You know what I mean? Now, if I'm down here in a certain area and I'm out here looking around for shit, then hey, maybe I put myself in that situation.
Well, you said the cops in Northern California are more intense than cops down south.
I don't live down here, so I can't call it. Yeah, I just know up there they trip on people. You know what I mean? And definitely they like to target, certain individuals. And I was only saying that because I know you're referring probably to when we were saying that on Adam's thing.
Yeah.
Because they were going after my brother GB. I just mentioned if you knew him, and shout out my brother GB. But he's doing a lot of positive things in his community. Matter of fact, tomorrow he's doing a big give back. We're gonna be there. He's got Burner coming out. He's got a lot of local hood stars coming out, and they get a lot of stuff for the kids. They give back to the community, man. A lot of kids for school, they get backpacks, and they generate a lot, man. And he's been doing these type of things for a while, but he's comes from a neighborhood where obviously represents what they represent, and when they come swoop everybody, they just throw them in the mix with everybody on an indictment type of stuff, you know what I mean? So I think, I don't know how they get down out here, but just up there, of course, man, it makes them look good, Just get all the bad guys that look like bad guys.
Have you had bad situations with cops?
Of course I have growing up.
What was the worst situation you had with a cop?
I do know, like, in my time when we were young, they did have a gang unit against us, and they had all our pictures in there. Dude had all our pictures. He was targeting me and my partners mostly, and especially when me and Wood linked up, that was like I believe right after the Northern Exposure 5 photo shoot, a lot of us got hit. I got my house raided after that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's where they actually, that's where I got that assault weapons charge. They came and hit my spot after that, or one of my spots that allegedly I lived there. I didn't have no proof of residency or nothing there. They just came and hit, but they thought I stayed.